Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving you a tour of our motorhome. Now as you saw, we did a camping video in August, and I realized after I shot that 45-minute video, yes I know it was a bit too long, but I didn't actually give you a proper tour of this thing. So I'm going to give you a full tour, why we bought it, what the price was, what year, motor, where everything is, and maybe why you should actually buy it. We've also made a few changes on it, done a few renovations here and there. We fixed it up a little bit, done some bed changes, we've done some new lighting, few new things, but honestly, it's all kind of the same. We didn't change too much, but I'll show you what has changed. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing, you're probably wondering why the stool's here, because they usually have steps. Well, we changed that. So the step, we bought this thing with a totally rotted step. This was where it was. It's now just the chassis underneath. This is what we're using to cover it up right now. We're making a metal step. However, it's not ready yet for this tour. Now, as you walk in here, first thing, going to be this little closet where you usually store coats, as there's a coat rack. This is full of recycling bottles for a bottle drive in a day or two. But the first actual thing on your left is the stove and the oven. This is a propane stove that runs off of the 80-liter tank that is outside here that I'll show you in a minute. These are on and off. These all work. The igniter even works. The oven is in mint condition. Literally, this thing has been used so little before we've had it. It's almost been never used. But these two burners have, and it has a bit of a mold problem that grows because these things have mold stuck on them. However, it's not too big of a deal because we sanitize it all the time. And we have all these cabinets. They're full of stuff and junk right now because this is also a work vehicle. And this is also just a few bits of food, tape, cereal. That's just a recycling bottle that's supposed to go in there. But yeah, this is just a little bit of a storage thing. Nothing in the fridge. We keep our utensils in... Well, actually, no, we don't keep our utensils in there anymore. We keep plates in there because none of these have doors because the previous owner took them off to try and renovate this thing, but it was so rotted he didn't want to do it. But we actually store utensils in here, which that's the biggest change. We've actually made a utensil drawer with a cheese grater and also some spaghetti. We also have 2 can openers and some plastic forks back there. This is just full of a bit of work stuff and some pots and pans for the stove, obviously. We store a few toolboxes in here, a few paint jars. This is our garbage can. This is a garbage can going back to June. We don't have any rotted things in there, so we decided to leave it here. These are from cleaning that, which you can imagine. But this is from June. This isn't like in a 1-week stay. The propane tank is one thing we also retroed. It sits here because it used to go under here. Well, not under here, but under the floor. However, the reason we have this is because this floor, well, not this floor, this water pump down here had a big leak and it rotted the whole side of this floor. And that's something that we're trying to replace. However, the carpet is so hard to rip up. We don't want to do it because we don't want to rip the floor apart yet. So we just put this plank here. That's just extra wood for that area and the bed here. And then, yeah, I'll show you this. We set up this is the 2-seat. This also goes into 1 bed with these latches here, 1-piece wood right there. However, you're probably wondering why there's a propane tank with a hose here and why there's an actual big tank here. Difference is because that tank is so small, and because it's not hooked up to the gas gauge, we don't know when we're going to run out, but we did the math and we just look at odometer to find out when we're going to run out of gas. Propane, because this runs on propane because that motor is so good that we wanted to save it to its pristine condition, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But yeah, we always keep this on here because this is an emergency backup bottle. We only put it on when this is somewhere near the end of its mileage. We obviously do fill it up. That is just a backup toolbox. And another bed, this is also just used for storage right now, as we don't camp in it at this time of year because it is the end of November. New speakers. These are old technology speakers because they were the only ones that would wire in here. Thermostat. This doesn't actually work because the heater, which is under here, the valve is not seized, but it's more so tricky to start up. And also, it will not light. Like, it'll make a spark, but it will not light the furnace. So that is why that is not functioning. We can make it function, however, we choose not to. We also, this came with it, but we didn't have anything to test it on. Beware, it's going to be loud. And you can balance it too. Turn the volume down or balance it between the radios. Google Home. Okay, so then you just press. I love these old things because they're so easy to use. Battery condition, which is pretty good right now. However, this water pump had a leak. Then it started to misfunction as it squeaks, and it drains a ton of power. If I hold battery condition, right, turn the water pump on, watch the drop. It is so slow and drains so much battery at once, but watch. Battery is still good, then it's bad. So, one, because it's 45 years old, and because it's a new battery, this uses, the water pump, uses so much energy from this battery. It's a deep cycle even, and yet it still sucks back that much power. And it's not even because it's a gallon per minute ratio. It's only 3.5 gallons per minute, which we need a 5.5 gallon per minute in this, because I'll show you. Now this bathroom, this doors also need some lubricant. And if you go into the bathroom, it's a full bathroom with, we added a shower. Now because of the water pump issue, which that is 3.5 gallons per minute, we need a 5.7 to run this. We even have it attached. We tested it. It will not push out enough pressure. It has enough pressure to run both sinks and the toilet at the same time, yet it does not have enough to do the shower without anything else, except for the sink, because you need the sink to run the shower. So it is very strange, but it just will not work, so we don't use it. The bathroom is used, though, as you can see. If you check the holding tank levels, if I can get in focus here, it is half full. Each one's half full. The water level in the actual tank is about half full. That's the tank under here, by the way, which is huge. It's bigger than our actual whole propane tank, if you can believe it. It doesn't cost anything to fill it up because it's water. However, it still takes so long to put it in. Now, I'll admit the shower was the main thing that we changed, even though now we need a new water pump. Yeah, we also added this as a curtain cover. And nothing else really different in the cab. It's all kind of the same. But yeah, this is a good little sleeping space. This one here too. That is technically a bed, yet this is 6 feet diameter, which that is somewhat of a waste of space for this thing, because this is only 20 feet. 6 of it's wasted on this on its own. However, it is not big enough for either of us, and it goes out so little that you don't really have enough space for even 2 adults. So it's not really meant for a regular sized person, which is really strange. This is 6'2" across, and that is about 7 feet across. So that's actually really good. And then one thing I forgot to point out earlier, these gables are bending out because the way that this is designed, these cabinets are below the actual roof. The wall is separated from the floor. That is why down here, you can actually see it. You push, if you step on it, this little area will go down into the floor. You probably can't even see that, but as the wall is separated, so this, if it gets so rotted, it would go down and all this would fall out. But that is something we're gonna have to fix really soon, like probably in the next 2 days or so, because this was one bad thing. Then this happened, the second thing, and now it's starting to crack. And then this just happened where it started the third. So it ain't very good. However, now I'm going to show you the cab and how it starts and the motor and everything else to do with it. So if I get down here, I kind of have to step here because otherwise you would fall through. Just get down. Passenger door here. This is a great conditioned cab, especially the driver's steering wheel and everything. It's all very nice. Let me see if I can actually get the hood up. This is a real hard one. So the hood's open. I'm gonna start it up for you, as I want you guys to see how this thing runs. I hope it is. Alright, there we go. So once again, this thing is in such great shape. This cab and the motor is probably the best part about it, even compared to the cab. Now, this is the motor, 350 V8 with huge headers on. These steering belts are loose, but no one cares. But listen to the sound of this exhaust. Sounds like a beast. Runs nice. Runs like a champion. So if we go from the driver's side over, you'll be able to see there's windows up here. This is the biggest fracture, is this, because the stripping was put on so poorly. Insulation's all wet in there now, but if I can figure out which key it is. Is it this one? Somehow it is. Okay. Okay. So that was good luck first try. We got a new valves because these were busted. Got a new cap, new septic valves and everything. These tanks are huge. They're accurate readers too, which was something that a lot of the other motorhomes, they were just not accurate readings on the levels, which was something that we wanted to have. Because on one of them we took a look at, the toilet was backed up and it was reading half full. So it was actually because there's human feces stuck to the metal of the readers, so they couldn't get an accurate reading and it was just stuck at half full, and that was just a tragedy. New gas valve. These are new tires, 16.5s. These are literally 95% tread left. This is the hot water tank. But as you can see, this thing is seized. Will not turn. So, unfortunately, we have no hot water. This is the heater. That is, once again, it will spark, not light, so it doesn't fully work. So now, if you take a look at this storage hatch, which I cannot, yeah, it does fit the same. So this is camping gear, firewood, big storage hatch. I mean, for these little old 1970s RVs, this was considered good at the time. Now you get those big Class A bus motorhomes. Makes this thing look stupid small. This is also with this. This is the, this is such a nightmare to get open this thing. I don't know why this is so hard to get open, guys. This usually, okay, there we go. This is the cable. So if you're plugged into 110 or you're at a campsite, this is what you do. New tail lights. This ladder, we redid the ladder. Propane bottles for the barbecue. Door. The porch light is not there anymore. Certified motorhome. These are water sealed outlets. This is where the fridge compartment is, the heating element. Fridge does not work as the heating element's actually rusted. Still new tires. This is the propane tank I was talking about for the stove. This would last us probably 3 years on a full tank if you were just doing stove. Water tank valve. The door came off. Cab door. Window. Now, when I was showing you on the other side of the siding coming out, this is way worse. This comes out probably 10 times more. Bandura emblem, bit worn out with paint. The grill, which actually looks pretty good with the black big window, because it used to leak. However, the whole thing here, it's black rotted wood. However, it doesn't leak anymore. There's just water stuck in there. And then this, we just put in here for now. And actually we have a step that goes on this thing. This goes on it. However, we don't want to screw it on because we don't actually have a step built yet. My dad's worked on these kind of steps for a few number of years now because he's done a few motorhomes with bad steps. The design of these stairs, the original stairs, are horrible as it's not even connected to the floor of the step. So when all the water damage comes on, it's totally screwed. And that is the tour of the 75 Bandura GMC motorhome. This thing is a beast. We bought it for 1,500 bucks. She's an old gal. We actually named her the Golden Sombrero as it was Mrs. Merwin, but it wasn't a good enough name. Man, does this thing run well. And by the way, there's actually a reason why I think this would be good for a lot of people. One, these things they stand the test of time. Now, they have a lot of leaks for sure. However, the thing is, if you know how to fix these things, if you want a project that you can do down the road, but you just don't want to do it right now, if you want a working motorhome, or you want to live in it and don't drive it, these things are perfect because they're 20 feet long. They got everything you need. They got a bathroom. They have a shower. Now, keep in mind, ours was not a full bathroom because it didn't have a tub and a shower. Now, this thing was great. A great buy because we don't have to sleep in the back of a canopy of a pickup truck anymore. We don't have to tent. We don't have to live in a truck camper. This thing overall is perfect. The only negative on this is the gas mileage. Now, it's on propane, which you guys are probably going to say it burns 20% more fuel, which is true. However, this has a stacked propane carburetor, aka a mixer, which that means you get literally half the mileage, which is not very good. But also because it's such a small tank, you can only get so far. I mean, we only get about 234 kilometers, I think we marked it at, which that's really not good, especially for a two-wheel drive. However, it's a motorhome. It's 13 miles to the gallon. But it's overall not a bad motorhome. You know, we take it camping. We store it here from start of September because that we camp from, we do like 2 weeks of camping in March for spring break to early September. So from early September to mid-March, this sits here. We fire it up once a month because the motors, you don't want to cold start it after 6 months or so of it just sitting there doing nothing, because that can be really bad for your motor. It's the same thing as like a generator too. For gas and propane and diesel generators, you definitely want to fire them up once a month. Same thing with this thing. But yeah, I think it's actually good for a lot of people. It's $1,500 this thing we bought it for. We only had to drive maybe 20k out of town to find it. It wasn't that bad. It was good shape. The tires were questionable, but we bought new tires. I mean, if you have money and the time to put into this thing in the future, you know, it's exactly why we bought it. You can buy it. There's a lot of old things like this people want to get rid of that are such good deals. I mean, this thing would last us probably 3 more years in the way it is, because it's actually not that bad. Like, there's a lot of reasons to buy it. I would recommend it. Also, just one little tiny thing. It only has 72,766 miles on it. And keep in mind, for a 45-year-old motorhome, when you're considering 45 years, the average person drives 15,000 miles, I believe, a year. I'll put it up on the screen if it's wrong. But 15,000 miles a year. Multiply that by 45. What's 15,000 multiplied by 45?
The answer is 675,000.
And you're telling me this has a quarter of that number? It's a no-brainer. I mean, in that lifespan, from being honest with you, you might have to replace 4 transmissions, almost 3 motors. This is the second motor, because the only reason the other one didn't work was because someone blew up the radiator, and that we bought it with a decent motor because the other people replaced it. You're telling me this has 72,661 miles on it. The average person drives 15,000 a year. Yes, it's a motorhome, but you're considering that it's at least half of the miles that should be on this thing are actually on it. It is legitimately, for $1,500, a no-brainer buy. That's why I suggest you buy it. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching the video. Hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.